Hi, and welcome to another episode of Content Marketing today we're going to talk about content marketing and Legos. Let's preface this by saying I'm actually not a big Lego user. I like to consider myself a creative brain, and certainly as a child, but for some reason Legos just never appealed to me. So I'm doing this completely unbiased. Love the brand, you'll see that in this episode, but certainly not a Lego user. So if I misuse any Lego terminology or I'm missing anything out, please comment, let me know. So I apologize to all the hardcore Lego users if I do something a little injustice here. Alright, now, Legos, I don't have to explain what the brand is, everybody knows who Lego is. In fact, Forbes in 1999 labeled them the product of the century. And this has expanded well beyond just the blocks that, we know we love. They have a Lego land all over the place, including, it's obviously in America, Europe, Asia, it's pretty much everywhere. Legos has expanded to that. They make movies. The Legoland movie was one of the best reviewed movies a few years ago. Hilarious, amazing, highly recommend everybody see it. But Legos has turned into certainly a lot more than just a children's toy. And it's very evident from the beginning that that's what Lego was trying to achieve. They were trying to achieve a lot more than just creating a toy. They were trying to tap into a lot more into the children's imagination, kind of about actually kind of a system for creative play is kind of what they talked about doing. And before the term content marketing, we know content marketing has been around a very long time, the John Deere furrow example and many countless others. But before the term content marketing, Lego was on top of this. Lego was very aware of this. So immediately they knew they had a couple target audiences. One was obviously kids, and more importantly would be the parents of the children who would actually be making the buying decisions. All right, so very early on, they created the original Lego magazine, which was, Brick Kicks, which of course was very heavy in product. I mean, the Legos all over the place, but this was an idea for creative ideas you can do with your Legos, how parents can get involved, how do you design your Legos from a very early on. So providing something more valuable. People who are interested in creating Legos have a creative brain. They want to know what else they can create. What are other people creating? Which tapped right into what they were trying to do from an early time, but more importantly in more modern times, which is creating a whole community around Legos. That's important to remember when I get into a little later into this presentation. And that's exactly what this magazine kind of had the basis for. It was a community that people wanted to be a part of. Other people who love Legos and what are they building? How can I build that? And how can I possibly improve upon it? Can I create something and submit it here? Really started getting kids and parents' active imagination like going quickly, and that was the whole basis behind it. And Lego early on wanted to provide value. So again, not just creating a toy, they want to create value. So when they're tapping into the parents, why is this a better toy than other toys out there right then? And again, this system for creative play that's actually going to help your children's brain, help your children's imagination, give them value in the future. And it's actually a lot, it's actually educational play. And this is actually a more modern ad that you're seeing here of showing how creative play is important and how kids can use it and how Legos tap into that. So seeing just a very simple design can actually be a dinosaur in a kid's mind. Seeing a very simple design can be an airplane. It's just awesome. And this is something that they preached back in the 60s, the 70s, and they're still doing it today. So they never really have changed that brand value, which is really important. That's what you have to think about when you're creating your brand. You got to create something that's going to last a lot longer than just an individual campaign, and you have to you have to breathe that with every piece of content that you create. So very early on also, Lego was tapping into this strong social values. That stuff is becoming really, really popular today. Obviously, Millennials is one of the most important things they look for in a brand is what do they stand for. Lego, this is from the 70s, and you can read it yourself. Forbes, actually, I got this from Forbes, which is essentially talking about how they urge parents to let children just create whatever they want. All that matters is imagination. Maybe a boy wants to create a dollhouse. Maybe a girl wants to create a spaceship. It doesn't matter. It's all about the creative play. It's all about the children. It's all about letting them just do what they want to do and what they feel like making. That's powerful. And again, this is from the 70s. This is something that you would like to see from a lot more brands today. And this is from the 70s, just to give a lot of credit to Lego and what they were able to do. But in the late 90s and even into the 2000s, Lego saw they were missing an opportunity. They were always appealing to children and to parents, but what they didn't realize once they started looking about their audience is they have a huge following for adults. And adults love Legos. They started going around and seeing people who were creating these giant Lego sculptures in malls, and corporate wasn't quite aware of that. And when they started to see that they were missing out on a huge audience of adults who are creating a lot of great things with Legos, they decided they have to tap into that community. They have to create that community for them because that's what the audience is asking for. Remember, it's what your audience wants. It's not what you want. You have to tap into them. You have to hear what they're saying. So they saw this idea as, of course, at a marketing level, free promotion. All right, these people are just using our Legos to create these awesome things. That's going to inspire other people to want to buy Legos and use them. And I think this is important for people who have, Lego artists are becoming much more and more prevalent in society. And I've noticed, I don't know a lot about this, and I'd like to interview one of these Lego artists in the future to get a little bit more sense into their thought processes here. But they kind of live and breathe that Lego value, that brand value of, social awareness, providing a lot more than just your brand, and certainly tapping into that community of people who use Lego, which appears to just be people just like to share what they've created. How can I create that? Look at this cool design that I made, and a lot less about, selling products and a lot more just about, sharing in the community. So an example here, this is actually a very old childhood friend of mine who I haven't talked to in a while, and I'm going to try after this. I'm going to reach out to him, see if I can get an interview with him to get a little bit more details on this. But his name is Adam Ward, and he's a Lego artist out in LA. And what he's done, so what you're seeing here on the left is a picture of him, and on the right is actually a screen capture of his website, peaceandbricks.com, where if you look at it, it's not about selling product. The entire website is just cool things he's done and cool products that he's made. So you see coasters. He created a reception desk here. He's done things for the Oscars. He's created like pieces of furniture for Zappos. So very, very successful. And he could very easily tap into that by having a place on his site to buy product. And there is technically a buy at the top of his website, but there is nothing there. Clearly that's not a priority for him. His priority is creating awesome content and putting it out there to community to share. And that's awesome. And that's just the fundamental of content marketing. He knows his audience so well. He knows this community of people who like Legos, or heck, even people who don't even make Legos like myself. I want to buy some of this stuff. So I want to get in touch with them just because I think it's cool. It's cool art. So it's appealing to the artist community as well. And what he's done here is he is, in my opinion, epitomizing the Lego brand of sell more than a product, and tap into social values and, create a lot more value for your audience members and even go beyond your regular audience. So he has this web series, Brick by Brick, where he has some basic things such as creating, how do I create create something Lego. So if I use the example, Brick by Bricks, build a Lego jail cell for your phone. All right, so he has an instructional video of how to make them. But even cooler is, if you see the video below that, and I encourage everyone just to go for this and take a look at it, it's Sentence Your Phone to Lego Prison, where he pretty much goes around downtown LA and he finds people who are having a lunch or something on outside and asks them to put their cell phones into a Lego jail for a little while. And this is not a promotional video. This is more of a social video about how people aren't engaging with each other, and when they go out to eat, they're not actually talking to each other. They're always on their phones. They're not really engaged with one another. And if you watch the video, that's the main purpose of it. He's mainly just talking about how that's a problem and how he wants to help people out and just see what that experience does for people. So he does bring that little Lego jail cell, and he asks people to lock it up. He doesn't say, "Hey, I made this out of Legos." He's not promoting that. Okay, he's actually just promoting the social value of it, and he has people put it in the Lego, and you watch people actually engage with each other. They're actually looking at each other a lot more, and it's really, really cool. And then he comes back and he gets their phones out of the cell and he asks people how they feel, and you can tell people loved it. They love not being engaged, and they're talking about how they learned more about their friend in those 20 minutes than they had in the past few years sometimes, because they were able to really engage with them and really start to get to know them. And that's the whole point. He's tapping into the social awareness of how social media, how phones have really stopped people engaging with each other as much. And so he's not doing that to epitomize the Lego brand. He's doing that just because that's what's important to him. But somewhere along the line, Lego has, helped him realize that. Maybe not. That's why I want to interview him to really get an idea of it. And he did the same thing with like Build Your Own Lego Heart. He was giving out free Lego hearts everywhere, just kind of spreading the love. Really cool things. So again, this is just a perfect example of how you have to sell more than the product. All right, you have to, you're trying to sell your brand. So it's what does your brand stand for? That's what millennials care about. They care more about what the brand stands for than what you sell. So just keep that in mind when you start creating content and you start creating things. Really, work on your brand. What does your brand mean? What are you really trying? What message are you trying to get across? And if you do that right, the marketing and success will come from it. But you have to be genuine. Millennials are smart. They know when you're being genuine. So be genuine. All right. Thank you. I appreciate your time today. Went a little bit over, but I'm looking forward to talking to you next week.